Midoriya's battle with Gentle Criminal is an interesting one. One of Midoriya's lower stake battles, as nobody's lives were at risk and there was no plan to topple the superhuman society, it threatened to be less interesting as a result. The show hasn't given us a villain like Gentle before. He's goofy, with a character designed to match, and if you look at his desires compared to, say, Overhaul, he's laughably small-minded. However, by Midoriya's admission, Gentle is the hardest enemy he's had to fight. Despite their later introduction and goals, the team of Gentle Criminal and La Brava are still able to fend off Midoriya for some time. Gentle Criminal has a mental fortitude that rivals Midoriya's own, and in the end makes a rather heroic choice to try and protect La Brava from the consequences of their actions. So today we're going to look at Midoriya's battle with Gentle before Season 5 comes out to celebrate and remember what came before, starting with the significance of the fight. This fight was important to Midoriya on many levels. The first is one I haven't seen talked about much, but stood out to me like a beacon. Gentle is Midoriya's first complete victory as a hero. This statement might be a little contentious, so allow me to elaborate and look back on some of Midoriya's other significant battles. To be clear, I'm defining victory as Midoriya successfully preventing the arc's antagonist from completing their objective with his own power. To start with, the attack on UA way back in the first season. Midoriya certainly participated, but did not win this fight by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, he and his classmates barely mattered. The League of Villains' objective was to kill All Might. Midoriya's class being part of this was happenstance. It could have easily been Class B if All Might had shown up to teach their lesson. The villain's objective in this arc was, of course, stopped by All Might going plus Ultra on Nomu. Moving ahead to Hero Killer Stain, we definitely find one of the show's greatest fights. Stain's objective here was to kill Ida for being a false hero, and Midoriya did play a part in stopping this as he fought alongside Todoroki and Ida to bring Stain down. There is an argument to be made that they failed at stopping Stain's grander goal of influencing society, given the effect Stain's arrest had on the rest of the world, but that's another topic. The main points I want to focus on is Midoriya did not win this fight on his own, and the battle was also technically illegal, as the students didn't have hero licenses, so I don't know how much of a victory this can count as. Then we reach Midoriya's battle with Muscular and the training camp arc. This fight is similar to the first encounter with the League of Villains. Midoriya plays a more active role in this fight, single-handedly defeating Muscular, but Muscular wasn't the antagonist of the arc. It was the League of Villains as a group. Their objective wasn't to kill Koda, which Midoriya successfully stopped, but to kidnap Bakugo, which Midoriya had far less success in stopping. He failed completely. Midoriya and friends do redeem themselves for this failure, snatching Bakugo away from the League during the battle with All for One, but by that point we're in a new arc and the focus of the story has shifted away from that. Which brings us to Season 4 and Chizaki. This is the largest battle in the show, with more heroes and villains fighting than we've seen yet. Chisaki, aka Overhaul, is one of the most dangerous people Midoriya has ever fought, bearing a terrifying quirk and a lofty goal of upending the Society of Heroes that Midoriya and friends seek to uphold. Midoriya faces off with Overhaul and, with Aries' help, unleashes 100% of his potential. This fight was incredible, and I'm sure it's going to have lasting after effects like Stain's arrest. But Midoriya isn't relying on his own power here. So at long last, we reach Gentle Criminal. He's got a simple goal: sneak into UA during the school festival to prove that they shouldn't be so carefree in these turbulent times. Midoriya stops Gentle on his own, without relying on another hero, and completely foils his plans. To me, this signifies an important step forward in Midoriya's journey. He puzzles out Gentle's identity on his own. Midoriya battles the duo and ultimately defeats them with his own power and wits. I'm not trying to belittle Midoriya's previous achievements with this segment, nor those of the other people Midoriya fought alongside. I simply want to acknowledge here that Gentle is unlike any of Midoriya's other battles because he relies only on his skills and the power he's currently achieved to defeat the villain and prevent them from achieving their objective. Gentle was designed for this purpose, both physically and thematically. Gentle's elasticity quirk is something else. It's one of my favorite quirks in the show because it's so interesting. It's a simple power, giving elasticity to any non-organic matter, including air molecules. That simplicity allows Gentle to utilize it in various creative ways. But the quirk is also well-suited to fighting Midoriya. Look what happens the first time Midoriya tries to attack Gentle. When One For All comes into direct opposition with elasticity, elasticity wins, at Midoriya's current power, at least. Elasticity is more than a shield, however. Utilizing the quirk properly gives Gentle far greater mobility than Midoriya, especially mid-air. The power of Midoriya's attacks is already weakened by Gentle's air barriers, and that challenge is only increased by making it hard for Midoriya to just hit him. It's almost similar to Nomu's shock absorption quirk in the first battle with the League. It prevents Midoriya from just punching his way to victory. Unlike All Might in the Nomu battle, however, Midoriya can't just force his way around the barriers. What he does do is use his wits to turn Gentle's quirk against him, using the crane that Gentle elasticized to launch himself after the criminal, navigating the sky with Gentle's membranes, and using one to fire an angled bullet to get around Gentle's shields. This fight exemplifies what I enjoy about many of My Hero Academia's fights. It's not just the quirk's strength that leads the user to victory, but the ability to utilize your quirk and the weaknesses of your opponents to their fullest potential. Midoriya and Gentle both display this understanding of their quirks. Gentle's gently trampoline attack disrupts his opponent's movement, while also giving him the ability to travel quickly. His abilities and his intellect make him a formidable foe for Midoriya to battle. But it's not just his power that made Midoriya say Gentle was so hard to fight. His past factored into it as well. Gentle's flashback makes the parallels between him and Midoriya clear. Both wanted to become heroes, but both ended up pushing those dreams from their minds until a spark set them back after their goals. For Midoriya, All Might giving him One For All allowed him to pursue his dream of becoming a hero. But for Gentle, who wished to become a man great enough to be written about in textbooks, his inspiration came from finding an old book about the history of supervillains. But the parallels between the two runs far deeper than just a shared dream. We can see it in the structure of the show itself. For example, in episode 82, the first part of the episode is about planning. The students of Class 1A plan the event they're going to put on for the school festival, intercut with Gentle revealing his plan to La Brava, creating a parallel. When Midoriya and Gentle bump into each other outside the cafe, they both reach conclusions about the other's identity in the same manner, from the same clues, at the same time. The end of the battle also calls back to a familiar fight. Gentle using La Brava's quirk to power himself up and defeat his enemy. I feel like I've seen that one before. While Lover's Mode isn't enough for Gentle to overcome his adversary, it allows him to give Midoriya a real fight. But the parallels between the two go deeper still, because it's not just Midoriya and Gentle having similar pasts and the writing of the show that makes it clear Gentle and Midoriya are very alike. The two characters also share the exact same motivation going into this fight. Their desires are definitely in opposition. Gentle wants to infiltrate the school festival. Midoriya wants to stop that from happening. But they're both motivated by the same cause, bringing a smile to the face of the people looking up to them. Midoriya is fighting to protect the school festival so that Eri can finally be free of Trizaki, while Gentle fights to respond to the feelings and admiration that La Brava has for him. As Gentle says, this goes for both himself and Midoriya. The stakes of this battle go well beyond whether Gentle or Midoriya is standing at the end of the fight. It determines the emotions of people who look up to the hero and the villain, the general outlook of the school and the darkest time society has been in years, and whether or not one old man can achieve his dreams. But what did this fight mean? It represents a huge step forward for Midoriya on his journey to becoming the world's greatest hero. As Gentle said, Midoriya fought to protect the outlooks of his peers and he won. If you look back at the previous encounters with villains in the show, this is even more stunning when you consider the effect even the hero's victories have on society. Stan was arrested, but there was still an increase in villain activity as he inspired others to his cause. All for One was defeated, but the world lost its symbol of peace. In the wake of the battle against Overhaul, we see that the news outlets are not focusing on Chisaki's defeat, but the failures of the police envoy that were attacked by the League after. This time, Midoriya won. He earned a complete victory. Midoriya didn't break his body, he didn't rely on another's help or have to contend with the aftershock of a battle affecting a society already frightened. He simply won. This coming at the defeat of Gentle is even more symbolic when you look at him and La Brava as shades of Midoriya's past. We've gone over the parallels between Gentle and Midoriya, but haven't touched on La Brava's flashbacks. She was shy and introverted when she was in school, to the point she had no idea how to function in society, as much of an outlier in her school as a boy with no quirk. Then she found Gentle. In that video she watched on the internet, she found somebody she looked up to the same way Midoriya looked up to All Might. La Brava found the same acceptance with Gentle that Midoriya did with his idol. Somebody who looked past who she had been, and instead looking at who she could be. One could look at Gentle and La Brava as being reflections of Midoriya. La Brava is who Midoriya was, while Gentle is who Midoriya could have been. By defeating them and earning a complete victory that brings smiles to the faces of those who he wanted to protect, Midoriya simultaneously steps away from his past and towards his future as the world's next symbol of peace.
緑谷イズク、誇っていい。君は君の全てを守り